What's up guys, Chasing Lane here with episode number 14 of From Grove to Glory with our Williams 2019 save. Our next race is going to be at the Ardennes at Spa. It's going to rain. Rain at Spa, as everyone knows, is not the funnest thing you can have happen to you. I was just having a quick look before I started recording at some of the car development. You can currently see that we are working on our gearbox, or on a new gearbox. I think we did that last episode. My brain is failing me right now. We're not doing any parts work right now, any reliability development. I think pretty much everything we're using in the car is fairly reliable, if not completely reliable. Although to be fair, I suppose there is an argument that I could do a quick bump on reliability for a few parts. We bump the engine reliability up maybe, and work on the reliability of those wings, because the wings are always important. Just the things that take forever to replace, really. We'll do these wings as well, why not? And then we'll just switch that all the way back there, because we need the performance way quicker than we need any development in reliability. We're also a couple of weeks away from our upgraded staff centre and a few other things coming in. There are a couple of new buildings I could build, so I'm very wary that we've got, what is it, maths in my head. 8 races left on the season, so we've got some cash to play with, but I also want to be able to invest it in the car. I want to be able to invest that in upgrades. I also, I can't afford to spend 35 million on a building right now, and there's nothing new to build until we can get the theme park, which requires us to spend that 70 million on stuff. So into the Ardennes. I don't know why I'm looking at that, because we're probably not going to be looking at taking the McLaren job. They probably give it to us, but we're not going to take it. We're on target to finish ahead of where we want to be, so that's pretty special. We need to get some better sponsors in, but of course our sponsor deals, they're not done till the end of the season. So we'll have to wait to be able to bring in some good sponsor money, which hopefully should redress the balance a little bit. But yeah, let's get into the race weekend. I say get into the race weekend. I'm going to do exactly what I did in the last episode, because it seemed to save a tiny bit of time. We're just going to go straight into the race and skip qualifying entirely. So we will pick the 15th or above. Tyre selection should be fair. What's it saying on tyre wear? Low tyre wear. If it's low tyre wear, I probably want more super softs, don't I? That's probably what I want. I am going to take a few more pairs of hard tyres than I normally would. The hardest compound, the medium tyres, because I think there may be an argument. And of course, it's going to rain all weekend in theory, but if we get a long enough dry spell, we might just be running hards. So we'll see what happens. But let's get into the race. Let's see what happens. So that's quali out the way, and I think I can safely say things went quite well for us. Fernando, as you can see, is currently sitting in pole position. Had a really good Q3, or a really lucky Q3, I guess. I was watching the weather radar quite closely, and because it was absolutely pounding with rain, and I saw a little gap of about maybe 6 minutes where it wasn't raining. I sent Fernando out for it. Caught it just in time. Literally, he set his time, went across the line, and it started absolutely hooning down again. And yeah, that was enough to get him pole by solidly half a second. Not so good a run for Kubica. By the way, Kubica is in the car because George Russell did not have or has been having some issues with, I think it was confidence or focus or something. I forget. It was something that just nerfed his stats. Like, his stats were done. I don't know why I want to refuel in Guru. That seems redundant. I think we're going to go with the super soft performance. If we can get him ahead before that rain comes. Yeah, George Russell not in the mindset, I guess, is the correct phrase. He's not ready to be in the race. So I put Kubica back in the car, but it's still a strong lineup, so I cannot imagine things will go wrong. Sorry, needed tea. Tea was a thing. Damn you, Biffa. I think actually we're going to go race performance and super soft tyres because they're the ones we've leveled up on both. The cars I have set up pretty well. They're pretty well set up. 42 laps in the race, which should be fine. We're going to drop that fuel down. I'm going to maybe play with the tyre strategy a little bit for Kubica because 42 laps. We'll lose 3 laps of fuel. That seems safe. That's going to come in raining round about lap. Oh, what are we saying? About lap 16? About lap 16 is going to come in raining. These tyres will get to lap 19, so that should be fine to start on super softs. So we're going to go probably super softs to inters, back to super softs for the end of the race. That seems like a fairly solid strategy. We'll make that work somehow or other. That should be just fine. I think what I'm going to do though is I'm going to have Kubica hold station a little bit more than Fernando. What can Fernando get off a set of super softs? He's got 18 laps on. He should be fine as well. Yeah. I'm gonna on the strategy. We'll get to the strategy now. We are gonna essentially try and keep Fernando ahead as best we can. Because if I bring him in slightly early for inters, it shouldn't affect things too much. We will keep him on. Oh, it's tempting to put him on high. We'll keep him on medium fuel. Yeah, we'll keep Kubica slightly pegged back, just slightly pegged back for the first lap or two, because it will stagger the pit stops, and also, like I said, Alonso has to defend first place. You can see the grid here. Alonso in pole with a 1:38. Grosjean second. 2/10 was the final margin. There we go, 2/10. And then Hamilton, Ricciardo, Leclerc, Vettel, Hülkenberg, Sainz, Bottas, Verstappen, Graham Rahal in a very disappointing 11th given his recent performances, next to Raikkonen in 12th, Giovinazzi, then Kubica on the 7th row, Lando Norris, Pierre Gasly behind, then Perez, Stroll, and on the back row Alex Albon and Danny Kvyat in the Toro Rossos. So it should be a pretty good race. We're going to turn these autos off as fast as we possibly can because we know they'll try and save fuel, and we don't need them to be saving fuel right now. That's not going to be a thing we do at all. We will do though is watch Fernando try and defend first, because you know he's rocketed off the line. Has he got some kind of modifier for good starts? Probably. That's fine. Let's speed through because he's currently doing his thing. Kubica's up into 9th, 10th. He's doing okay off the start. But Alonso's got a half-second lead already, which is very, very impressive. Though someone's having an absolute belter of a lap behind him because his purple sectors keep disappearing. So as soon as we cross the line, we're going to hit the magic button and try and power our way through. If we can get that gap up to a couple of seconds, that would be ideal for us. And then we can sit back for the rest of the race and see how things develop. We are coming to a point where I think I have to take a quick check of how long is left on Fernando's pit. We're going to fire off the ERS there with Kubica because he's got a bit of a straighter run, and hopefully he can start catching Lando Norris, which would be great. Everyone else is doing a kind of hybrid mode conservy thing. We're going to drop Alonso's tyres back to neutral now because he is overheating them massively, and that should hopefully see us out for a little while as we head towards the first pit stop. Somewhere around lap 16, I think, is the aim. Like I said, if we have to bring Fernando in slightly early, that's not the biggest problem. Drop him back to neutral as well, because you know, I think Fernando could handle a lap on a dry track on inters if he needs to, especially if he gets in the jump on a few pit stops in the pit cycle. But anyway, we've got Sebastian Vettel closing us down, 0.6 behind, which is slightly worrying. Kubica has worked his way up into 6th, which is pretty magical. I feel like there should be a way to split screen your drivers because they're both having good races. But while we're in the lead, it is the lead we are focused on. Kubica's probably going to be defending 6th very soon, but he's in a kind of middle ground area. Tyre deg is not that bad. I mean, you're not pushing, Fernando. That's the thing. You're not actually pushing the tyres. You are literally just keeping them going. Let's do another quick push with Fernando, because if we can extend that gap back up to a second, I think that's going to be a thing. Just get around here, boom, hit that, power away a little bit. I say power away, it's not actually achieved much for us. Let's see if we can do the same thing with Kubica and maybe get him somewhere a bit closer to where he needs to be. We're just going to very, very quickly, whilst trying to hold on to the lead, we're going to conserve those tyres. Just a touch, try and bring that temp down. We don't want to let Seb in, because if Seb gets a sniff, we know he'll come past us. But we do need to conserve the tyres, or cool the tyres more than conserve them. That should do the job quite nicely. And then we should be able to see Fernando through a little bit further into the race. Halfway through his set of tyres now, lap 8. It's about where we thought we wanted him to be. I say about. It's it's going to be touch and go the whole race. But what I'm hoping is he will come in pretty much as soon as it starts raining, and then we can leave Kubica out for a lap, and it maybe we'll see him through. Let's give another push, because Seb is having a good old sniff around the back of us, and that's not okay. Kubica can probably get a bit closer than he is. He's also being challenged by Graham Rahal, who we know can do a job, has been doing a good job since he signed for Red Bull. Vettel's slightly better on tyres than us. He's kind of forced his way through, which, it was going to happen eventually. We've held him off for best part of 10 laps though, so we can't complain too much. He's probably going to disappear into the distance, but I think with the right pit strategy we can probably overcome that a little bit. I say a little bit. He's pulled away a 2-second gap already. Alonso has essentially just run a masterclass in defensive driving for the last couple of laps. Where are we at in terms of the weather coming in? We're looking at probably another few laps. Fernando is going to have to conserve those tyres just a touch to get to within the window, which is not something I wanted to happen, but it's something we'll make happen if we need to. That's going to be okay though. I think we should be within range. I'm going to say within range. We're certainly within range with Kubica of the rain. I may have screwed up Alonso's race by pushing his tyres a bit too early. Maybe we'll do a quick backup on the tyres. It will let Vettel run away with the race, but I think that was going to happen anyway. Kubica has pushed his way up into 5th, which is just dirty driving. It's like he's trying to punish me for dropping him from the team. He's saying, look, Lando's got a few more years left before he needs to be racing. Can we maybe do something about that? Kubica's complaining of worn tyres. That's going to be fine though. Fernando, where are we at with the rain? Come on, 15 laps. I think that's going to be lap 16, 18 that comes in. He's going to be suffering with the wear. Ricciardo is just behind. I think maybe we are going to have to keep conserving the tyres, saying pit for fresh tyres soon. We are not there yet. I wish we were. I very much wish we were. We are not quite there yet. We're down into 3rd, but it looks like Ricciardo is going to make the jump. That's probably a good call for us to make the jump too. How are we doing for park condition? Park condition looks fine. Battery, we're going to absolutely max out. Pit strategy, we've got to get this done quickly, boys, because otherwise we've got no chance. Let's do a quick pause so I can get down to there. And we're going to slam on the ERS. We're going to put ourselves up to neutral on tyre performance. We might lose a position to to Romain Grosjean on the way through. Kubica though is just behind, and I think he's going to be the next lap coming in. Is sort of my plan. I think we're going to see a few drivers coming through into the pit. Ricciardo's definitely coming in. Vettel has made his stop, which was to be expected. I think what we're going to do is a big old attacking push from Robert Kubica. Now he's gone through. And then he can come in on the next lap for tyres. It's not going to be a long wet period or anything. What we're looking at, spot lap 32. Probably one set of tyres should get us there. It's just going to be a case of watching very closely what we do in terms of performance here, because it could go great, it could go badly. How's this pit stop going to go? Hopefully no dramas. That would be the plan. Kubica currently leading the race, which is excellent work. If he can maybe get some kind of undercut achieved here, that would be pretty special. I don't know why it's slowing down so much, but there we go. We'll work that out too. Let's go with Alonso with a massive push straight out of the pits. It's behind Danny Ricciardo. He's catching him. He's got him straight out of the pits. Valtteri is not far up the road in the grand scheme of things. Well, we're sort of closing down a 10-second gap. I'm guessing he's coming for a pit this time round. That has done a random freeze on me, which is always good. We've hit the pits. Kubica, where's he going to come out? We need to be watching his tyre strategy very closely because he needs to not waste those tyres. Right, he's out in 4th, which is pretty good. I'm pretty sure he's jumped someone in the pit cycle. Grosjean must have had some kind of issue at some stage. We're currently running 2nd and 4th. Sorry, I'm so confused by this. I'm struggling to speak. 2nd and 4th is a pretty good return for Williams in general. Be a good haul of points if we can get someone on a podium. And we'll hope it continues. We will hope it continues. As soon as the rain stops, it's going to be pretty much safe to switch back over, and that switch to the rain coming off is actually looking like lap 24, 25. So it's actually not going to be that long before the track starts drying out. So we're just going to have to kind of find the perfect switchover point for the tyres. Kubica was on a low fuel delta. That's good times. That came far sooner in the race than I thought it would. But we'll make that work for us. If it gives us extra fuel to push with later, we'll do that. I mean, we don't really need to chase down Seb Vettel because we're not going to catch him. I mean, our game right now is keeping Danny Ricciardo behind us, which shouldn't be impossible. The Renault's not looked much better than us this season. It's certainly not significantly better to the point where I would be concerned. We can give a push there to kind of answer the fact that Ricciardo tried the same thing, and hopefully that will start working out. The rain is starting to subside a little bit. Our tyre pressures are low, or our tyre temps are low, so we'll give them a little push, just a little bit of a push, because the rain is stopping. We're kind of in that let's just screw it, burn tyres stage of the race now, because we just need to dry the track off, and that track should start drying out fairly quickly. So it's going to be a case of who blinks first, I think, is what we're looking at, in terms of who is going to come in for the set of super softs that I presume would go to the end. We're certainly in a good position to be on the super softs till the end, which, that could be beneficial to us. I'm keeping an eye on Seb, because when Seb comes in, that's probably time to come in. I'm not worried about you going through tyres. In fact, that was kind of the point. You would burn through the tyres, having a big old push. And the gap's not closing up front, but it is closing behind. And I think this might be the lap. This might be the lap we come in, maybe. It's going to be kind of a case of watch Seb, see what Seb does. Lance Stroll has come in, so it might be a smart move. Yeah, we've watched Seb. Seb has come in. We've got 17 remaining, so that should be absolutely fine on tyres. I'm going to add some charge. It might be a risk at this stage, but we'll see what happens. Make sure that's a push. We'll put that back to push as well. Oh, that was nerve-wracking. That was far more nerve-wracking than it needed to be. And we're going to hope that Kubica can overcut, which should do things quite nicely for us. There's way more on that battery than I thought there would be, but it's not broken the battery. We've not had a dodgy pit stop. Things are looking okay, and now it's going to be time to bring Robert Kubica in to use his last set of super softs for the weekend. And we'll very much hope he can do the same thing. We'll also add a full charge to him. We'll keep him on a fast pit stop. We haven't had a mistake yet, but no, I've said it, we will. And actually, Kubica's just behind Vettel. If he can find a way to get behind, or get ahead of him and slow him down just a touch, that would be really nice for us. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he's got enough extra pace to, on what's left of the dampness on the track to be able to push his way through there. But we'll see. Stranger things have happened, as they say. They're not happening. They're not happening today, but it's fine. You see Alonso going through to take second place back, held masterfully by his teammate. Kubica is going to come out in 5th. Well, that's terrifying. We had a quick mistake on the pit stop on the tyres. I said it would come. It had to happen. But still, 5th is not too shabby. Graham Rahal is on far worse tyres too. Let's drop them both back to neutral on the tyres. That's probably sensible. Probably quite sensible. In fact, that's under investigation for cutting a corner. You absolute genius. I'm guessing we got away with that because I don't see a little penalty icon. We are just doing a quick drop back just to cool those tyres off because they have been running fairly stably at neutral. So that should be okay. There we go. Back to that. Let's go back to Alonso, because Alonso must be in a fight with Danny Rick. He is in a fight with Danny Rick. Push, push, push. That's what we like to see. Another push here. And this should see us through to the end of the race. It's a fairly good strategy. Kubica has dropped back behind Hamilton, which, you know, is not what we want him to be, although he is gaining on him. He is gaining on him. Right, let's go see what this battle looks like. It's looking close. We're going to take him here. I'm going to drop out to 4 times speed because, you know, I feel we should enjoy this pass if it's coming. Kubica's right on his gearbox. Right on his gearbox. I'm tempted to just give him we'll give him permission to use that extra little bit of fuel. Both of them, in fact. And have a little push. And maybe we can make the miraculous pass on Lewis happen. I'd like to see it. I don't see it coming, but I'd like to see it. He's just kind of following in close formation. You've got a little bit of tyre you can use. Maybe a little bit of tyre is what you need to get through there. Otherwise, it's going to be a case of biding that time, really. But, you know, we're within a second of him, which is still pretty respectable. It's not what you expect to find a Williams within a second of a Mercedes. Let's use that little tiny bit of ERS just to bridge that gap. We've still got plenty of fuel in excess, so we should be fine in that regard. But we're not closing down. We're more defending from Raikkonen than we are closing down Hamilton at this point. But that should be okay. We'll drop these tyres back down before they go through the roof temperature-wise, and then we'll go back up into full speed. And we'll kind of keep a loose eye on that. Alonso is currently doing some defending from Danny Rick, but he should be okay with a little bit of ERS. Should give him a gap again. And yeah, it looks like Kubica can't decide whether he wants to catch and pass Hamilton or give up the place to Kimi Raikkonen, which is, you know, I understand the dilemma. I'd probably be trying to catch Hamilton if I was given the choice, but also I'm aware that trying to catch Lewis Hamilton is not the easiest thing in the world. So, you know, I guess you kind of have to give and take with this thing. There's more pushing needs to be done. We're going to be looking good. The last 6 laps of the race, I'm just going to do a quick slowdown here because I just want to see what we've got left on these tyres. We've got 11 laps left on those tyres, so that's fine. They should last. What have we got with Fernando? Probably about the same, 10 to 12. That's good. That's good. That's looking okay. Okay, we've got nothing really doing here, have we? Let's go back to Fernando. Let's see what Fernando is doing. Still defending from Daniel Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo must be going mental on the team radio. Like he's literally been staring at the back of a Williams all race. You'd be furious, wouldn't you? You'd be furious if you were Danny Ricks. You know, you've come here thinking you've got a decent shot. You're in a Renault, you should be golden, and then you get sat behind a Williams that not only trashed everyone in quali, but has held pretty well ahead of you for the entire race. Seb's gone like he's disappeared. He is vapor to us. He's halfway around the track. But things are looking okay. Let's do another push because that's going to be good. We'll drop back into medium fuel usage just to preserve things a little bit. I don't think the engine's in any danger, although the wings are. The wings are looking ropey on both cars. In fact, they're looking a bit ropey. We'll get to the end of the race, but let's not go being silly with the old fuel because that's just we might need to defend at some stage in the near future. And we'd probably like to have enough fuel to make that happen. In fact, let's put the fuel back onto auto. The ERS, sorry, back onto auto. I'm pretty sure I can trust Fernando Alonso to know when he needs to push to pass, or push to defend, or you know whatever he needs to do. We're going to come round for the final lap now, in all its glory. Let's go back into regular, normal people speed, because we need to know exactly when we can push things, how we're going to push things. We will go into high on the tyres because we haven't got enough to do overtake. Sorry, on the fuel even. Tyres we can probably give a good old push to as well. Maybe not so much for Fernando just yet because I'm very concerned about the tyre wear. I know the second it drops below 20% you may as well not have tyres on the car. And where are Danny Rick's tyres at? Danny Rick's, his tyres are gone. His tyres are gone. We're probably more under threat from Leclerc at this point than we are from Danny Rick. So we'll do a push there as well. Why not? Big old push to the line. Make things happen. Make the magic happen. Fernando is almost lapping Carlos Sainz. He'll cross the line before he does, which Carlos will be quite happy with. We've done okay here. We've done a two-stop strategy. We've got Fernando Alonso onto a podium in a Williams in like what, his third race. I've lost track of where we are. But yeah, things have sort of worked out, and Kubica has got himself a couple of points, which is probably a pretty good return for a guy who's now our reserve driver. I say he's now our reserve driver. The performance he's had in this race, he's making a strong case for making George Russell come for his place in the team, if I'm honest. Because, you know, it would be fair to say that he has done pretty good numbers for us in this race. And there we go, push to pass across the line. I keep calling it push to pass. I've watched way too much IndyCar. Second place though, on the podium. Outstanding work. Let's see Bobby Kubica cross the line as well. We'll see how happy he is when he does it. I'm going to double speed because why not? I don't think he's going to make that gap up on Grosjean. It's very unlikely because Grosjean will have finished by then. But even so, burn the ERS. We've come in with just a little bit of an excess of fuel. Whew, that was a good old race, wasn't it? It's a good old race. And this is a quicker episode than usual as well, which I'm sure you guys will be very grateful of. I've kept the race on 12 tyre speed for most of it because there was such little to do in terms of trying to work out how to gain positions. We just seem to have held positions. We'll go back to Fernando because Fernando is our hero today. Good old work. You won't let us look at Fernando. He's been so good for us that they want us to look at Seb Vettel instead, who in fairness has finished 27.2 seconds ahead of us. But we'll skip that. We'll skip that before the FIA come for us because they've done that before. I've had a few warnings from copyright for that. Sorry, Morty, damn you, Beffer. Yeah, that was an okay return. We just have a quick save. Why wouldn't we have a quick save? I keep forgetting to turn autosave off because it drives me mental. But I never remember to do it. It'll be fine. Let's have a look at the winning strategy. When we came in on the same laps as Seb, exactly the same strategy. He's just had the raw pace to get past. And in fairness, he didn't even get past us until lap 10-ish. Literally, he got past us, then came straight into the pits, so we followed him, and then he disappeared. And Kubica, it says, has done roughly the same strategy as us, but he has done the same strategy as us, just a lap later, and that's worked out okay. Max had a long middle stint on the inters, but it didn't really pay off for him. Lando's gone to the softs, which may have been, a lot of drivers went to the softs very early, switched to the softs for Lance Stroll. That's not really worked out. Sainz and Giovinazzi, I have no idea why would you come in on a lap 41 of a 42 race? Just look after your tyres better. It's not difficult. Let's check the cars. Make sure we definitely haven't broken any rules. Has anyone else broken any rules? Because that will help us immensely. Robert Kubica has had a 20-second time penalty that's dropped him down to 9th, which is fine. Lando Norris, what did he get? 2-place drop after braking. Oh, naughty Lando. Naughty Lando. We've beat our sponsor objective as well, which means there's at least a little bit of money coming in. And there we go. We get to see Fernando Alonso on the podium next to a trophy. It's been a while since we had a podium. I don't remember the last podium we had. It was earlier. We had a 3rd place, I think, earlier in the season. Let's put Fernando up into 11th in the drivers' standings, ahead of George Russell and Robert Kubica. He's moved down, but he's picked up points, so that's fine. And where are we in the constructors? We are holding on firm to 5th, which is good. I'm glad we held off Daniel Ricciardo. It meant we've managed to close that gap just a tiny bit. But 5th is still pretty good. We should be pretty hard to catch for the teams at the bottom now. Yeah, it's been a good old race. That I've quite enjoyed that. I don't know about you guys, but I've definitely quite enjoyed that race. But yeah, I think this is kind of that time where I start wrapping up the episode because there's not a lot I can do between this race and next. I don't think. I'm literally waiting for them to build a couple of parts and upgrade the HQ. So I guess we'll wrap it up there. So if you've enjoyed this video, guys, please smash the like and subscribe buttons, ring the bell for notifications, and yeah, check out some more Formula 1 content on the channel as well as other stuff. We do Football Manager and we do City Skylines. But yeah, in the meantime, guys, I have been chasing lamely. Thanks very much for watching, and as we see what comes in terms of our marketability, probably quite a lot, I'm gonna say have a good one.